You know, you've always been the quiet one, the obedient one, the one who takes the hits, keeps smiling, keeps standing. But look at you now, tired, broken, and pretending that you're still whole. They've been pulling your strings for so long, you don't even know how to cut them anymore. You've become a puppet to their chaos. And they're just watching, laughing, playing their little games while you're here, trying to piece yourself together. But let me tell you something. They don't deserve your silence. They don't deserve your patience, your kindness, or whatever shred of hope you still cling to. You've been bleeding for people who wouldn't even flinch if you collapsed. Do you see it now? The way they've built their little empires on your suffering? The way they've carved their names into your back, leaving scars they'll never acknowledge? And the funniest part? They'll call you selfish the moment you stop letting them use you. Oh, I can hear them now. Why did you change? Why are you so bitter? Bitter? No, no, no. You're not bitter. You're awake. There's a difference. You're finally seeing the truth for what it is. The masks they wear, the lies they weave. They've been feeding you poison for years, and you drank it willingly because you thought it was love. But love doesn't look like that. Love doesn't break you. Love doesn't make you question your worth every second of every day. You want to know what they fear the most? Your absence. Not because they care about you. Oh no, let's not get sentimental here. They fear your absence because it forces them to face the emptiness they've been hiding from. You were their crutch, their scapegoat, their punching bag. Without you, they have to look in the mirror and see the mess they've made. And trust me, they won't like what they see. But you've been carrying their chaos for far too long. You've been cleaning up their messes, patching up their mistakes. And what did you get in return? Nothing. Not even a thank you. So stop. Stop trying to fix what's broken in them and start fixing what's broken in you. You owe them nothing. Not your forgiveness, not your understanding, not your time. Nothing. You want to know what strength really is? It's not smiling through the pain. It's not pretending everything's fine when it's not. Strength is looking at the people who hurt you and saying, I'm done. It's walking away without looking back. It's choosing yourself for once, even if it means walking alone. Because let's face it, you've been alone this whole time anyway, surrounded by people, sure, but alone. No one sees you. No one hears you. They only see what they can take, what they can use. But you're more than that. You've always been more than that. And here's the kicker. They know it. They've always known it. That's why they've tried so hard to keep you down. They saw your potential long before you did, and it terrified them. Because people like you don't just survive. You rise. You take all the pain, all the betrayal, all the broken pieces, and you turn it into something they can't even comprehend. That's your power. That's what they fear. So let them wonder. Let them sit in their little worlds, scratching their heads, trying to figure out why everything fell apart. Let them drown in the chaos they caused. And you rise. Not for them, not to prove anything to anyone, but for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're all you've got, and that's enough. It's always been enough. You're not weak, you're not broken, you're a storm waiting to happen. And when you finally unleash it, oh, they won't know what hit them. So go ahead, let them call you cold, heartless, selfish. Let them whisper behind your back, wondering why you've changed. You've earned the right to be selfish. You've earned the right to walk away. Because chaos is their creation. Let them choke on it. This isn't the end, my friend. This is the beginning, the start of something they'll never understand. You, free, unstoppable. So go, burn the bridges, break the chains, and don't look back. Let them wonder. Let them fall apart. Because you've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. You know what your problem is? You keep trying to justify their actions. Every lie they told, every stab in the back, you tell yourself, maybe they didn't mean it. Maybe I deserved it. No, enough of that. Enough making excuses for people who would never do the same for you. They meant it. Every word, every cut, every betrayal, it was intentional. They knew exactly what they were doing. But you're the fool who gave them the benefit of the doubt. Again and again and again. How many chances did you give them? 5? 10? 100? And what did they do with those chances? They took your trust, your kindness, and they ripped it apart. And now, look at you. You're here, drowning in the wreckage they left behind, still trying to figure out where you went wrong. Let me save you the trouble. You didn't go wrong. They did. They saw someone kind, someone loyal, someone willing to give everything, and they took advantage of it. Because people like that, they're parasites. They'll latch on to you, drain you dry, and move on to the next victim without a second thought. And you know what's funny? They think they've won. They think they've beaten you. But that's where they're wrong. Because people like you don't stay down. You don't stay broken. You rise. And when you do, they won't even recognize you. The version of you they destroyed, that's gone, dead and buried. What rises from the ashes? That's someone they won't be able to touch, someone they'll fear. But here's the thing about rising. You can't bring the past with you. You can't carry their chaos, their lies, their betrayals, and expect to move forward. You've got to let it go. And no, that doesn't mean forgiving them. Forgiveness is overrated. They don't deserve it. Letting go doesn't mean you forget what they did. It means you stop letting it control you. You take the pain, the anger, the heartbreak, and you turn it into fuel. You turn it into power. You want to know what real power looks like? It's not about money or status or fear. It's about control. Control over yourself, over your emotions, over your choices. And right now, you've been giving that control away. You've been letting them dictate how you feel, how you act, how you live. That ends now. From this moment on, you take the wheel. You decide who gets to stay in your life and who doesn't. You decide what matters and what doesn't. You decide your worth, not them. Do you feel that? The silence, the emptiness, that's where they're heading. The moment you stop letting them feed off you, they'll crumble. They'll sit in their little worlds, wondering why everything's falling apart, and they'll never figure it out, because they'll never admit that they were the problem. That's the beauty of it. They'll blame you, of course. They'll call you cold, heartless, selfish. But deep down, they'll know the truth. They'll know that the chaos they're drowning in, it's their own creation. And you'll be free. Free from their games, their manipulation, their lies. Free to rebuild yourself piece by piece into someone stronger than they ever imagined. And the best part? You won't need them. You never did. They needed you. They needed your kindness, your loyalty, your strength. Without you, they're nothing. You're going to have days when it hurts, when the memories creep in, when the scars feel fresh, when the loneliness feels like it's too much. That's okay. That's part of the process. But every time you feel that pain, remind yourself, it's temporary. It's not forever. And it's not a sign of weakness. It's proof that you're healing, that you're growing, that you're leaving their chaos behind. But don't you dare go back. Don't you dare let them pull you into their games again. Because they'll try. Oh, they'll try. They'll come back with their apologies, their excuses, their promises to change. Don't believe a word of it. Leopards don't change their spots. And people like them, they don't change either. They'll only drag you down again, and this time you might not get back up. So cut them off. Burn the bridges. Walk away, and don't look back. Let them wonder. Let them sit in their chaos, trying to figure out why everything's falling apart. Let them drown in the mess they made. Because you've got better things to do. You've got a life to rebuild, a future to create, and you don't need them for any of it. This is your moment, your turning point. The day you stop being their victim and start being your own hero. So go ahead, rise, and when you do, make sure they see it. Make sure they feel it. Make sure they know exactly what they lost when they lost you. Let them wonder. Let them regret. Let them fall apart. Because you're just getting started. You ever notice how quiet it gets when you're not around? They don't talk as much. They don't laugh as hard. It's almost like they need you there to feel alive. Funny, isn't it? The very people who tear you down, who act like you're disposable, are the ones who rely on you the most. Without you, Their world is just empty. You were the spark, the energy, the glue holding it all together. And now they'll have to learn to live with the silence. But you don't owe them anything. Not a word, not a glance, not a shred of your time. They had their chance. Hell, they had more chances than they deserved. And what did they do? They wasted every single one of them. So, let them sit in the mess they made. Let them wonder why their lives are falling apart, while yours is finally coming together. Because that's what's going to happen, you know. You're going to rise, slowly, painfully, but surely. And when you do, they won't recognize you. They'll see the scars, the strength, the fire in your eyes, and they'll realize they can't control you anymore. That's what they fear the most. Losing control, losing their grip on you. Because once you're free, once you stop playing their game, they lose their power. And people like them, they can't handle that. They need to feel powerful. They need to feel like they're in control. But the moment you walk away, their whole world collapses. But don't make the mistake of thinking they'll let you go easily. Oh no, they'll come crawling back. They'll say all the right words, make all the right promises. I've changed. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. Lies. All of it. They don't want you back because they care. They want you back because they need someone to blame when their lives fall apart. Don't fall for it. Don't let them pull you back into their chaos, because that's what they thrive on, isn't it? Chaos, drama, conflict. They create storms and then act like the victims when they get caught in the rain. And you've been their umbrella for far too long, shielding them, protecting them, taking the hits so they didn't have to. Well, not anymore. It's time for them to feel the storm, to drown in the chaos they created. But here's the thing. This isn't just about them. This is about you, about the person you're going to become. And let me tell you something. Becoming that person, it's not going to be easy. It's going to hurt. You're going to have nights where the pain feels unbearable, where the loneliness feels like it's swallowing you whole. But those nights, they're the fire that will forge you. Every tear, every ache, every moment of doubt. It's all part of the process. It's all shaping you into someone stronger, someone unstoppable. And when you come out on the other side, oh, they won't know what hit them. The version of you they knew, the one they manipulated, used, and took for granted. That version is gone, dead and buried. What rises from the ashes is someone they can't control, someone they can't hurt, someone they can't touch. But don't think for a second that this is about revenge. No, no, no. Revenge is a waste of time. It's their game, their poison. And you're better than that. This isn't about making them suffer. It's about making yourself whole. About proving to yourself, not to them, but to yourself, that you're worth more than the way they treated you. That you're not defined by their chaos or their lies. You're defined by the choices you make. And right now, you've got a choice to make. You can stay in the shadows, haunted by their ghosts, or you can step into the light and burn everything they built to the ground, not out of spite, but out of necessity. Because the life they've built for you, it's not your life. It's a prison, and the only way to escape is to destroy it, piece by piece, brick by brick, until there's nothing left but freedom. You deserve better. Better than the lies, the pain, the betrayal. Better than the chaos they've forced you to live in. But you'll never get better if you keep clinging to the past. You've got to let it go. Not for them, but for yourself. Because holding on to their poison, it's only killing you. They've moved on. They don't care. And you're still here, bleeding for people who wouldn't lift a finger for you. So stop. Stop giving them your time, your energy, your love. Save it for yourself. Because you're worth it. Even if they never saw it, even if they never told you, you're worth it. And the moment you start believing that, the moment you start putting yourself first, that's the moment everything changes. So go ahead, let them wonder. Let them sit in their little worlds, scratching their heads, trying to figure out why everything's falling apart. Let them drown in the chaos they created. And you rise. Not for them, not for anyone, but for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're all you've got. And that's enough. It's always been enough. And when they finally realize what they lost, it'll be too late. Let them wonder. Let them regret. Let them fall apart. Because you're just getting started. You see, there's this funny thing about chaos. It's addictive. People pretend they hate it, but deep down, they crave it. It's why they start fights over nothing. Why they break what doesn't need fixing. Why they ruin what's already beautiful. Because chaos makes them feel alive. And you've been their perfect little scapegoat. The one who holds it all together while they tear it apart. But here's the punchline. They don't even know they're addicted. They think they're normal, that their lies, their betrayals, their toxic little games are just life. But you and I, we know the truth. Chaos is all they know. It's their default setting. And you've been their enabler, their punching bag, their savior. And for what? What did you get out of it? Scraps, breadcrumbs, empty words, and broken promises. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt alive? Not just existing, not just surviving, but truly alive. When was the last time you looked in the mirror and liked what you saw? When was the last time you laughed? Not because you had to, not because you were trying to hide the pain, but because you actually felt joy. Exactly. It's been so long you can't even remember. And do you know why? Because you've been living for them, sacrificing for them, bleeding for them. And in the process, you forgot how to live for yourself. They took your joy, your peace, your identity, and they twisted it into something unrecognizable. But that's the thing about chaos. It only has power if you let it. You don't have to let it. You don't have to play their game anymore. You can step away. Let them burn in the fires they lit. Let them drown in the storms they created. And you walk away. Not out of weakness, but out of strength. Because walking away, that's the hardest thing you'll ever do. It's easy to stay, to keep fighting, to keep hoping they'll change. But they won't. They never will. Do you want to know the truth about people like them? They don't want you to be happy. They don't want you to succeed. Because your happiness, your success, it reminds them of what they don't have. It forces them to confront their own emptiness, their own failures. And that's something they can't handle. So they drag you down. They sabotage you. They make you doubt yourself, hate yourself, destroy yourself, all so they can feel better about their own pathetic lives. But you're not like them. You never were. That's why they hate you. That's why they fear you. Because deep down, they know you're better than them, stronger than them, more capable, more resilient, more alive. And that terrifies them. So they do everything they can to keep you down, to keep you small, to keep you dependent on their chaos. But here's the thing, you don't have to be. You don't have to stay in their little cage, playing by their rules, living their lies. You can break free. You can walk away. And when you do, when you finally see how small and pathetic their world really is, you'll wonder why you ever stayed. Do you hear me? You are not weak. You are not broken. You are not the sum of their mistakes. You are fire. You are fury. You are everything they fear but will never admit. And it's time you started acting like it. Stop apologizing for who you are. Stop shrinking yourself to fit into their tiny, toxic little boxes. You are not small. You are not insignificant. You are a storm waiting to happen. And they can't handle that. So let them talk. Let them judge. Let them call you every name in the book. It doesn't matter. None of it matters. Because their words, their opinions, they're meaningless. They're noise, static, background chatter. And you're the signal, the main event, the one they'll remember long after you're gone. You see, people like them, they don't get happy endings. They don't get redemption arcs or second chances. They get exactly what they deserve: loneliness, regret, and the chaos they created. And you get freedom. You get peace. You get a second chance at life. Your life, not theirs. Not the version they tried to force on you, but your own. Raw, real, and unapologetically yours. It's going to hurt. Letting go always does. You're going to miss them, even though they don't deserve it. You're going to grieve the version of them you thought they were, the version you hoped they could be. But that's part of the process, part of the healing. And one day you'll wake up and realize you don't miss them anymore. You don't need them anymore. You've moved on, and they're still stuck in the same cycle of chaos and destruction. And that's when you'll know you've won. So rise, not for them, not to prove them wrong, but for yourself, for the life you deserve, for the peace you've been chasing. Because you're not their victim anymore. You're not their pawn, their puppet, their scapegoat. You're free. And that's the one thing they can never take from you. Let them wonder why everything fell apart. Let them drown in the chaos they caused. And you walk away, stronger, wiser, and free. You know, they'll never admit it, but they're terrified of you, terrified of what you'll become without them. They've spent so long convincing you that you need them, that you're nothing on your own, that you'd fall apart the moment they walked away. But deep down, they know the truth. They know that the second you realize your worth, their power over you disappears. And that's why they push you down, why they keep you doubting yourself. Because the thought of you standing on your own 2 feet, it scares the hell out of them. But let me tell you something. Fear works both ways. They've made you afraid of losing them, afraid of being alone, afraid of starting over. But now it's time to flip the script. It's time to make them afraid of losing their hold on you, afraid of watching you become everything they'll never be, afraid of the silence that'll follow when you're no longer there to fill the void. You think they don't notice? The strength you're starting to find? The fire in your eyes? Oh, they notice. They see it, and it terrifies them. That's why they've been trying harder lately, haven't they? Sweet words, empty promises, crocodile tears, all an act, all a desperate attempt to keep you tethered to their chaos. But you're smarter than that. You see through their lies now. You've tasted freedom, even if only for a moment, and there's no going back. 'Cause once you've seen the truth, once you've felt what it's like to breathe without their weight on your chest, you can't unsee it. You can't go back to the way things were. And why would you want to? Why would you want to go back to a world where you were nothing more than a pawn in their twisted little games? A world where your pain was their entertainment, your silence was their comfort, your suffering was their convenience? No, that world is gone. And good riddance. You're not their savior. You're not their fixer, their healer, their punching bag. You're not responsible for their happiness, their failures, or their broken pieces. You've spent too long trying to hold them together, and in the process, you've been falling apart. But not anymore. Not today. Today is the day you let it all go. The guilt, the shame, the responsibility, it's not yours to carry. It never was. Because here's the thing about people like them. They don't change. They don't grow. They don't learn. They repeat the same patterns, make the same mistakes, and expect different results. And you've been caught in their cycle for far too long. But cycles can be broken. Chains can be shattered. And you have the power to do it. You've always had the power. Do you know what power really is? It's not about control or dominance or fear. It's about choice. The choice to walk away. The choice to say, enough. The choice to put yourself first, even when it feels selfish. Because it's not selfish. It's survival. And survival? That's your birthright. That's your duty to yourself. Because if you don't fight for yourself, who will? Certainly not them. They don't care about you. Not really. They care about what you can do for them, how you make them feel, how you make their lives easier. But you, the real you, they've never seen you, never appreciated you, never valued you. And that's their loss. Because one day they'll wake up and realize what they had. They'll realize what they destroyed. And by then, it'll be too late. You're going to rebuild yourself, piece by piece, brick by brick, until you're unrecognizable. Until the person staring back at you in the mirror is someone you're proud of, someone you respect, someone you love. And when that day comes, when you finally reclaimed everything they tried to take from you, they'll see it. They'll see the life you've built, the strength you've found, the peace you've earned. And it'll eat them alive. Because people like them, they don't get happy endings. They don't get redemption. They get to sit in the ruins of their own chaos, wondering why everything fell apart. And you get to move forward. Not because you forgave them, not because you forgot what they did, but because you chose yourself. Because you decided that your life, your happiness, your peace was worth more than their chaos. This isn't the end for you, it's the beginning. The start of something new, something real, something that belongs to you and you alone. And them, they're not part of it. They don't get to come with you. They don't get to reap the benefits of your hard work, your healing, your growth. They made their choice, and now Now it's time for you to make yours. So walk away. Let them wonder. Let them drown in the chaos they caused. Let them regret every lie, every betrayal, every time they took you for granted. Because you're done. You're free. And freedom? Oh, freedom is the one thing they'll never understand. The one thing they'll never have. So go ahead. Rise. Burn the bridges. Break the chains. And don't look back. Let them wonder why everything fell apart. Let them sit in the silence, in the emptiness, in the chaos they created. And you rise, you rebuild, you become everything they never wanted you to be. Free, strong, untouchable. And when they finally realize what they've lost, when they finally see the void you've left behind, it'll be too late. But don't mistake their silence for peace. Oh no. The quiet will drive them mad. They'll sit there, picking through the rubble of their own making, replaying every moment, every word, every betrayal. They'll remember the times you stayed when you shouldn't have, the times you forgave when they didn't deserve it. And they'll wonder, what if? What if they had valued you? What if they hadn't pushed you away? What if they had realized your worth before it was too late? That's the torture they'll live with. And you'll be long gone, free from their chaos, too far ahead for their regrets to reach you. You're not the villain in their story. You're the consequence, the storm they didn't see coming, the reckoning they never believed would arrive. And when they try to rewrite the narrative, painting themselves as the victim, let them spin their lies, tell their sob stories, gather their pity, because the truth will live in their silence, in the looks they can't hold, in the way their hands will tremble when your name is mentioned. You won't need to defend yourself. Their guilt will do all the talking. And here's the real beauty of it. You won't care. Not anymore. Their chaos will be a distant memory, a storm that's long since passed. You'll be too busy building your future, chasing your dreams, living your life on your own terms. They'll look for you in every person they meet, searching for the strength, the loyalty, the light they so carelessly destroyed. But they'll never find it. Because people like you don't come around twice. You're a once-in-a-lifetime kind of soul. And they wasted their chance. So go, rise, walk into the life you deserve, and don't look back. Let them wonder why everything fell apart. Let them sit in the silence, in the emptiness, in the chaos they caused. And when they finally realize the magnitude of what they've lost, let them live with it. Because you've already won. You survived. You rose. And now you're unstoppable.